So what do you think the major challenges are for young people?
Oh, I think families, I think employment, I think housing, I think those transition times from school, primary school to secondary school to work. I think that financially young people are struggling. I think, it's hard.
So the young people that come into this service, a lot of them would be struggling financially.
Yes, definitely. And I think, young people are using drugs and alcohol quite extensively, or definitely alcohol. But, we see some amazing young people too.
So if you had to think of an example of where you might have worked with a young person who had some of those challenges and turned some of those things around, what would that look like?
A young boy that we saw who was referred to us from the school had been getting into lots of fights and was just about to the stage of being disengaged from school, being stood down, expelled. His family was struggling. His dad had gang connections and had left the gang. So he came in and he saw the nurse and we had a heads assessment. We linked him in with Daryl, and Daryl has worked with him since he was at college, and he's probably for the last 5 years, kept him engaged in school. I remember he did one of Daryl's programs and he took the certificate home, and they were just amazed that he came home with a certificate and put it on the wall and the family made such a fuss about it. It's amazing, really.
So there you're talking about relationship and ongoing work.
So that happened, but he got into an apprenticeship, and then he got into a relationship with a young woman who was quite manipulative. And actually this young person who had been getting into fights was actually a really sensitive young man, was actually quite vulnerable and could be manipulated by this young woman. And he started drinking and started a bit of a spiral, and Daryl started to work with him again. He used to come in and see many of the staff and would be quite distressed and distraught. But anyway, it's been a long time, and his parents obviously were quite worried about him because, obviously that they could see the relationship was having such a negative effect on him. And eventually he has left that relationship and is now in a really good relationship, a positive relationship, and he's doing really well, and he's gone back to doing his apprenticeship, and his relationships with his family's improved, and that's been a long time.
So would you say then, Rachel, that change with young people who have quite complex challenges takes quite a lot of time and effort?
Definitely.
And sustained practice.
And it's small steps, and it's always, it's that ability to come back and engage. So, and having that open door policy and no questions asked, being free is really, really important.
So this service is free?
It is.
So being able for young people to be able to come back in and engage is important?
Really important. It's forming those strong relationships.